I'm walking with the Word in the beautiful Sheffield woodlands, thinking about Matthew chapter 5, verses 23 and 24. Jesus says this, he says, if you are offering your gift at the altar and there, remember, your brother has something against you, leave your gift at the altar, go and first be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. I want to draw 3 lessons out of this today. Number 1, in our society, we normally assume that the person who is responsible for going and making peace and talking things through is a person that has the problem. In other words, if you have a problem with someone, go and talk to them about it. But notice Jesus puts it the other way. He says, if you're offering a gift at the altar and there realize your brother has something against you, go and be reconciled to them. So the responsibility is on the person that wants to be right with God. And another thing to notice here is that Jesus doesn't say, if you've done your brother wrong or if your brother has done wrong to you. There's no judgment on who's in the wrong here. What Jesus is saying is if you want to be in a right relationship with God, you want to have an act of worship before God, you're the one that has the responsibility to make sure you're at peace with the people around you. The second lesson, Jesus says, leave your gift at the altar and then go and make peace with your brother. And that leaving the gift at the altar shows a commitment and an intentionality to see through the act of worship. You're not leaving the act of worship completely. You intend to see it through. Now, we don't normally give gifts at the altar anymore in the church. I don't think that's a problem. I think we can take this as a general teaching about anything you do where you want to be in a right relationship with God, be it an act of worship or prayer or whatever. Make sure before you do that you're in right relationship with other people. And the third lesson, Jesus says, go and be reconciled to your brother, but he doesn't say go and agree on everything with your brother or go and talk it through until you see eye to eye. Jesus just says be reconciled. Reconciliation is a restoring of a peaceful, right relationship with someone. So what Jesus is saying here is just make sure you go and have peace with them. You don't need to talk all of your problems through in depth. You don't need to convince them to agree with you. And you don't need to necessarily agree with them. Just go and make peace with them. That's the important thing, peace. Maybe there are people in your lives that you can think of that either have something against you, or maybe you have a problem with someone in your life and you need to go and sort it out. My final bit of advice is just to spend some time planning how you do that. Remember, your goal is peace. Your goal is having a right relationship. And if you rush into it without thinking before, it can sometimes make mistakes. Just drop your pride. Leave everything at home and just go with a spirit of peacemaking. Peace doesn't just happen. It's something that has to be proactively made.